We're going to make pumpernickel bread. This is a completely different bread. It's a dark bread. If you like rye bread or you like sandwiches on pumpernickel or a dark bread, you'll really like this bread. Now, it's got lots of ingredients in it. So let's get the yeast going to start with. So we're going to start with some water, and then we're going to go with a bit of sugar. And the other sweetener in this is molasses. And molasses is going to color it as well as give it some flavor, lots of flavor. Then we've got some egg whites as well to put in, and we've got some cider vinegar with that. Now let's sprinkle our yeast on top. So we just want to wet the yeast and mix it a little with the sugar. And now we're going to let the yeast sit there and bloom, and we're going to talk about the other ingredients. So we've got more water to go in later. And our flour mixture is made up of brown rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch. There's also some skim milk powder in here. And we've got some white sugar. We've got some guar gum. We've got some cocoa powder, and again, that's going to make it a rich, dark color. We've got a little bit of sweet rice flour in here, and we've got some salt, and then the star of our show is caraway seeds. A nice rye bread or a pumpernickel bread with caraway seeds, oh, nothing better. We've also got some ground almonds, so this gives it just a slightly nutty flavor. You can use the ground almonds that are ground from blanched almonds, or the ones that have the brown specks in them that still had the skins on when they were ground. The other thing we're going to put in is a bit of gelatin, and the gelatin is just some strength, and it helps the bread hold together and rise without falling. So I can see that our yeast is all nice and moist, and it started to go. Let's get our eggs ready. So we're using 2 eggs in this recipe, as well as the egg whites. It does help as well if your eggs are at room temperature. You want to keep everything around the yeast nice and warm. It really encourages the yeast to grow. So let's put those in first. We're just going to turn this on, and we're going to start to put our dry ingredients in and the rest of the water that we have. Dough comes out very smooth. Again, a gluten-free bread dough that you really don't want to have to touch. Look at that nice rich color already. We can add in some of these other ingredients. Really doesn't matter what order you add them in. Once we add the guar gum, it's going to start getting a lot thicker. Like, obviously the cocoa powder is going to make it nice and dark. Our ground almonds. Let's wait and add the caraway seeds near the end. I like making this bread, but I also like being in the same room when it's in the oven. The caraway seeds baking up in the oven, oh, something amazing. Now, this recipe only makes 1 loaf. What I do is I usually slice it all before I freeze it, and then just take out slices as I need them and pop them in the microwave until they're nice and warm. And if I'm going off somewhere, off to work, and making a sandwich for later, if I can't warm the bread when I'm there, I'll warm it and put it in a Ziploc bag, and it'll steam up a little bit. And by the time I get to work and get using it, it's still nice and moist. Go. This recipe, of course, can be doubled if you want to make 2 loaves. Oh, here's the wonderful caraway seeds. If you don't like caraway seeds, you don't have to put them in, but I find it really, really adds something to this recipe. And now we're going to put in some oil. I always like to put the oil in at the end. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons. From working in the bakery, I know I keep oil in a container like this. A short shot is a teaspoon, and a long shot is a tablespoon. That's 2 tablespoons. We're just gonna turn this up for a moment. I'm just gonna let that go. So we have our nice deep bread pan. Now what I've done is I've cut a piece of parchment and put it in the bottom. That way, if you ever do have any issues with it sticking on the bottom, it'll come right out. The parchment paper will never stick. And over time, as you use these pans, just rinse them out. There's no need to do a lot of scrubbing and get the residual oil off. They'll eventually become non-stick. Oh, look at this. This looks like chocolate mousse. There we go. It smells so good with the caraway seeds. And the molasses as well. Oh. As you can see, this looks very different from the white bread. It smells very different when it's cooking, but it's nice and strong. There's enough elements in it that keep it nice and strong, and it will rise up nicely to over the top of that pan. If you do make it in a smaller pan or make it in buns, leave some room at the top for it to grow up without it having to go over the top. Gluten-free bread likes to be supported as it's rising. So let's just get it out of here. And you'll see how much this makes. Again, it's really sticky and gooey. This isn't anything that we'd ever want to have to handle. It's going to go for 1 rise in a nice warm place. It's hard to say how long it's going to rise. I like to put mine in an oven that's been warmed and turned off. It takes about 20 minutes. If you've just got it at room temperature, it's going to take longer. If it's in a warm area, it can take a shorter amount of time. So as you can see, it's about halfway up to the dimple on the side. And once it gets over that space there, that's when it's ready for the oven. And then this is going to bake off at 400 degrees. It's going to take about 50 minutes to 60 minutes. But what a loaf you get. That didn't take long at all. And now we've made our own pumpernickel, gluten-free. So our pumpernickel bread has come out of the oven now, and it's actually cooled enough that we can slice it. Again, we took it out of the oven and made sure that it was 190 degrees, and that way we know it's cooked inside. And I've got this handy knife that helps me slice nice and evenly. And I'll slice this to put in the freezer, and then whenever I want a sandwich, I can just go and take a couple of slices out. But oh, look at that. The caraway seeds are buried in there, but you can see all the nice bubbles. The yeast has really been working hard. And with the addition of the molasses, the bread is so unique. It's so different from white bread. It's got a really hearty flavor, a really European style flavor. This with pastrami and lettuce and mustard, my favorite sandwich. This is amazing. Now, you too can make this amazing pumpernickel bread in your own gluten-free kitchen at home.